how bad are things going to get in Sheffield, which, like London and Birmingham, is a coronavirus hotspot. So it's likely we'll be getting our own temporary Nightingale hospital, probably at the English Institute of Sport or Arena. The starting point for what is likely to happen next is my trend forecast of the 22nd of March. But first,
I'm going to interrupt you because I need to talk now. We'll come back to you in a moment, but we need to go straight over to our political editor, Laura Koonsberg. Laura, what have you got to tell us?
Good morning, Carrie. Well, I've just discovered that the Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, has tested positive for coronavirus. He's understood to have mild symptoms. He will self-isolate in number 10 and will still be in charge of the government's approach to how they're handling the crisis. But obviously, this is a significant moment. Boris Johnson, of course, has been in close contact with the government's chief scientists and all the people who are in charge of trying to handle how the government's various responses are going. But he is now himself, having displayed mild symptoms, understood to have tested positive for the infection.
Hi folks, I want to bring you up to speed with something that's happening today, which is that I've developed mild symptoms of the coronavirus, that's to say a temperature and a persistent cough. And on the advice of the Chief Medical Officer, I've taken a test that has come out positive. So I am working from home, I'm self-isolating, and that's entirely the right thing to do. But be in no doubt that I can continue, thanks to the wizardry of modern technology, to communicate with all my top team to lead the national fight back against coronavirus. And I want to thank everybody who's involved. I want to thank, of course, above all, our amazing NHS staff. It was very moving last night to join in that national clap for the NHS.
This analysis seeks to conclude in a detailed trend forecast for the US and UK coronavirus infections and deaths into the end of April, the importance of which being to act as indicators for the primary driver for stock market trends since mid-February. Whereas was the case with my preceding forecast since the end of March, deviations against the coronavirus trend warned of worse prospects for the stock prices as the US and UK failed to follow the South Korean model. The UK government started the ball rolling in announcing a number of measures in attempts at slowing the parabolic curve that the pandemic was on. First of which was to close all schools as of Friday 20th of March, which in my opinion was about 2 weeks later than they should have closed the schools. Still, in terms of pandemic timeline, it is about 5 days ahead of when Italy closed all of its schools, so should help resolve towards a better outcome. The second announcement was to order all restaurants, pubs and clubs to close. Again, a positive development and ahead of the curve in relation to where Italy was. However, just firmly asking the British people to stay at home has largely fallen on deaf ears, as most have carried on as usual given the weekend's mad rush to enjoy the sunshine by flocking to parks, countryside and seaside in their millions. Huge crowds busy mingling and infecting one another, which does not bode well for what to expect in terms of infection numbers 1 to 2 weeks down the road. So the key mistake that the UK has made is not to order a national lockdown on the 20th of March. And with every day that Britain delays announcing a lockdown is going to result in a steeper curve. Thus Britain needs to announce a national lockdown immediately, as delaying it by 4 or 5 days will just put Britain on precisely the same track as Italy. So I expect an imminent UK national lockdown, which, like earlier school closures than Italy, should give the UK a small advantage in terms of pandemic outcomes. But first they have to actually announce the lockdown, which as of writing there is little sign of. Perhaps the lockdown will come Monday or Tuesday. Anyway, each day delayed takes the UK one step closer to becoming Italy. In terms of the number infected, well, the UK is pretty much on a similar trend trajectory as Italy, where the existing trend trajectory is for 17,000 by the end of March, which suggests the UK is going to trend to more than 100,000 by the end of April, probably exceeding Italy's total by a good 20,000, given that temperatures are colder here and with less sun, so the virus can survive for longer on surfaces. Therefore, my final conclusion is that the UK is targeting a trend to 123,000 officially recorded infections by the end of April 2020, which on a case fatality rate of 6.6% resolves to 8,100 deaths. That compares against today's figure of 233, with the trend trajectories as illustrated by my graph. This would likely result in herd immunity amongst 3.7 million people, i.e. 30 times the official number testing positive. So quite some distance from the 40 million that the UK was previously galloping towards, which also confirms that there will be several more pulses of infections as lockdowns are relaxed, but are likely to be less extreme as each subsequent wave will result in a greater herd immunity and thus make it harder for the virus to spread. So this first wave is likely to be by far the worst in terms of the numbers of deaths, as more people end up in hospitals sooner, as there's nothing had been done to slow down the spread of the virus and no one had immunity in the population to slow its spread. So my forecast trend trajectories for the UK to trend towards 123,000 to test positive for the coronavirus, or about 10.5 times the current tally. Sheffield currently has 240 infected recorded, which thus implies that Sheffield is trending towards around 2,600 testing positive for the infection by the end of April, with the actual number infected likely to be 30 times that, or about 76,000, which is about 14% of the city's population. Against this, Sheffield is expected to have 150 critical care beds after tripling their existing number by mid-April, when the demand for such beds is likely to exceed 600, which translates into a high case fatality rate of at least 6%, that resolves to at least 160 deaths in the city by the end of April. That's if the trend does not turn out to be a lot worse than my forecast. i.e. 160 should be seen as a minimum. So folks, batten down the hatches and follow the government's advice by staying indoors, because every time you go out, even for a family walk, you're at a daily increasing risk of getting infected at probably the worst time to become ill with the coronavirus, given the tsunami that is about to hit the NHS. So don't F about, stay indoors.